Good morning. Good morning. As you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here as I do all the little behind the scenes stuff. Sorry, I was a little distracted and almost didn't go on the right time. Um, hmm, so let me get back. Hold on. Um, as you get here, make sure that you say hello. As you get Okay, let's see. Are we? All right, one more thing. Beautiful. All right. I was just a little distracted. We have oh, good morning, Wendy. We have a lot of people on our Facebook that maybe we haven't met in person, and they may even be living in our area or whatever. Um, but there's someone who on my Facebook, and she's local somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where, but her son passed away sometime last year, if I'm remembering right. And so she is working on getting a memorial swing put in this park and all these different things. And suddenly they are trying to refund her money and say that they can't get this swing anymore. And so it was her talking about how the process that she's been having to go through and how disappointing she is. That was the one thing she was really trying to do. And it made me think a lot about sometimes, we want to do certain things to um, memorialize someone and have something that we can go to and enjoy that they would have enjoyed. Because she said that they her and her son, that's what they did all the time, was they, good morning, Wendy, is that they would swing together. And so I was busy looking at that thinking, oh my gosh, I was going to respond to the post, and all of a sudden I looked at the time and it was like, oh, whoop, whoop, got distracted. But I'm here. I'm here. And I don't know if you saw, Wendy, I did I'm not so sure I really like the clip, but it was still a little clip, a synopsis of some of the stuff that we talked about in the podcast. And so I should have it, all the information, all the links and everything for you sometime later today, so that you can share out. It is already on YouTube and the and Callcast. It's the other ones. I'm just waiting for it to post so that I can grab the links for you. But I'll be getting that to you later today. And I'm so excited about it. Actually, I finally had some time. I had a bunch of them that were in my queue waiting on me to just put in the information and just publish it. And so I was able to get a few published last night. And oh, so I'm feeling good that I got that accomplished. Still got some more there, and I will be working on them sometime today as well. So, good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. And anybody that's watching the replay, thank you for being here. And make sure you put hashtag replay. Let me know that you're here. And let me just check real quick and see if I've got anything popping up over here. Oops, where did I go? Oh, I lost me. I lost me. What? Okay, I already found the Facebook one. Um, I'm having a devil of a time sending you my links. No worries. I did find the Facebook one, and I just sent you a message earlier because I tried to find you on Instagram, and there's a lot of people that the name is pretty similar, and I could not really make sure that that was you, and so I just left it out. And there wasn't very many posts or very many people or anything on it, so I didn't know if you were even active with it, so I just left it out. Um, but maybe you could on Instagram, if you're wanting to send me that, just um, um, message me or start following me on Instagram. If you're not already, if you're a follower, I might could go through there and find it, and Thread as well. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. And I haven't done my meditation yet this morning. I had a lot of things to get done, and so I have a business meeting that I have to get to and a client, and then I'll be doing my meditation. So I'm looking forward to getting into my meditation today. You can tell. All right, so our affirmation for today is I embrace my creativity and let it flow freely. Now, and that's one of the things that we talk about in the masterclass and in the actual program that we've got coming up in July. And that is one of the things that Laura Westman really helps with, because we do the improv and all and play those games. But some of the ways that we can drop into our creativity and really hone in on it more is by going into our meditation and just as we're sitting there, we can just ask, okay, how can I be more creative today? And see what shows up for you. And it can be really eye-opening. And if you're a person that likes to doodle, I don't know how many times when we were kids, we had the real phone, the wall phone, right? And there would be a little notepad beside it so that when somebody called, you could take a note, right? Oh, well, hell, when it came time to take a note, there was no room because we would have all been on the phone doodling on this pad. and then when in the salon, when we had paper appointment schedulers, we would go and we would answer the phone, and as we were talking to a client, or sometimes it was a personal call, we would doodle on the appointment book, and sometimes it would be hard to make the appointment because we had doodled so much. And you can take those doodles and you can make amazing things. And I even saw not too long ago a friend of mine, and I don't remember which one it is, and I apologize if you're watching this and I'm not saying who you are, but they do doodle art. And oh God, I wish I could remember off the top of my head who it is, and I can't. But she had some beautiful stuff, and all it was doodles. And so, you can create with all kinds of things. So maybe you like to sing, just pop into song and see how you flow and what creative things start coming to you. Sometimes just getting out in nature and walking barefoot on the ground, grounding into the place and just expanding yourself you can fall into some creative things. If you like to draw, you like to paint, if you like to write, one of the things that will really get you into the creative space, and this one is one of the sometimes the more difficult one to do, it's just start. So if you're wanting to paint and you are creative and nothing's coming to you, get your canvas up or your paper up, get out your pencils, your paints, whatever it is, and just sit there with it and see what comes up. And if nothing's coming up and you're a painter, get your paintbrush, put a little bit of paint on it, and just start putting stuff on the canvas. Now, we know with paints that you can cover up anything if you really choose to, right? But just start. And sometimes just beginning, well, we have to always begin in order to make it happen, right? But sometimes the trick is to start, and then things start happening. They start coming to you. You get this divine inspiration that all of a sudden your paintbrush or your pen starts doing different things, right? Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Wendy, for that. And I will look at that a little bit later today, and I will go in and add it to all the places, and we'll make sure that those things are on there for you. All right. So I embrace my creativity and let it flow freely. So now for those that are on here right now, let's see what we got going on over here. Anything? Um, all right, I see Sandra Thomas has joined on Instagram. So you can join into the conversation too. And just let me know, what is the creative thing that you enjoy doing? Is it singing, acting, drawing, painting, just whatever? Join in and let us know what is something that you enjoy to do that feels creative. And I feel there's several for me. I love to do this kind of stuff. Music. Oh, yes, Wendy, music. So does that mean you like listening to music? You play music, you sing? What about music is it that lights you up, that helps you feel creative? And or is music helps you get into the creative space of something else? I don't know. We all have like little muses, if you will, that help us to be more creative. And like I said, if you just start doing something that you're wanting to be creative about, then that'll kind of open up and get the juices flowing, right? Play and sing. Oh, yes, Wendy. Beautiful. Well, you need to do some of that today and record it and share it with us. And so, what is the creative thing? Ah, worship, dance, and creating courses. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Sandra. And so, are you doing that stuff now? Are you doing the worship dance and and creating courses, or is that something you're working on getting that creative flow going for that? Oh, no worries, Wendy. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. We haven't been doing this for very long, so you're good. I was a couple minutes late getting on here myself. Got distracted. Oh, beautiful. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. You'll have to maybe let us see what you're doing, and just um, since you're joining on Instagram, I don't know that I don't think you're part of the stand up and stand out community on Facebook. But if you are on Facebook as well, you're welcome to join the community with us. And that's the main place that I do all of this from. And so it is, if you want to check it out, it is vickypoole.com, VICKIEPOOLE.com. And then you'll be prompted to answer questions, and then you can get into the group. But we have amazing things that happen all the time. And so let me see. And I see Wendy Sue has joined on Instagram too. So thank you for being here. And you're welcome to answer the questions right along with everyone else. I'm just now learning how I can click around and see what everybody's doing. And so if I don't see, it's because I'm in a different window. All right. But the thing is that for creativity for me is I love to draw and I love to paint, but I don't do it that often. And sometimes I can. Oh yeah, that is true. That is true. That is amazing. Yes, we have the Wendy's in the house all around, right? Wendy Sue, you don't know, but over here on Facebook, there's already what is there? There's two Wendy's in this group right now, and no, there's three, right? Um, there's four now. So we are outnumbered with Wendy's. It's beautiful though. So this group definitely collects Wendy's, I will say. So we'll be getting some more, I'm pretty sure. Um, the yes here in Facebook. Plus Wendy Sue. Yes. All right. So For me, like I said, I love to draw and paint, but I don't do it that often. And it's like I get so busy with doing all kinds of things, right? And that's one of the things that I loved about adding Laura into my masterclass and the program that I got coming up, because that's one of the places that I sometimes don't move forward in. Um, just checking out Instagram broadcasts. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So the interesting thing is that as I talked to her on when I had her on my podcast, I could feel that if I could get into some of the gamified things and the fun things that she was doing with improv, that I would get into my creative place a lot more. So what I'm going to ask you to do today, let me see, is to maybe get into the playful spirit, because one of the games that she has us do all the time, and you guys, most of you have been on the master class, which is coming up again on Tuesday, the 25th at 6:30 p.m. So if you would like to come to the master class and experience some of this stuff, definitely put I want the link, or just put link in the comments, and I'll make sure that I get you the link to be able to get into the masterclass. But it is the to sometime today to do the yes and so I don't explain it as quite as eloquently as as Laura does, but as we're going through life, we're continuously saying no to things, and we're, you know, somebody will say, "Do you want to go with me?" No. Do you want to? No. And so the thing that this is kind of opening up your creativity by going yes and. So as you're going through your day and you're looking at things to do, just kind of expand on it. Yes and the and one of the things that it makes me think of is do you remember the movie with Jim Carrey, the Yes Man? Um, is because the that's what. Okay, Wendy says, I love to write stories and songs and sing, and I need a musician friend who can put down the music for my lyrics. Ooh, you need to put that in the group. I bet you there's a musician friend somewhere in the stand up and stand out community that might be more than happy to play with you. Check it out. If I could, I would, but I'm not a musician. One time I decided I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And at the time, I was married to a man that was a musician. And oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I will get you the link in just a little bit, Sandra. The my husband at the time, he was a musician, and he had been a musician for a very long time, and so I wanted to learn how to play the guitar. And I can be a little bit, or in the past, let's put it that way, in the past I could be quite wouldn't have a lot of patience. Let's put it that way. I wanted to do like some people do now. It's like they learn a song. That's what I wanted to do. I just want to know how to play a song. I wanted to play something, right? But instead, he was doing the wax on, wax off stuff, and it was like you gotta do strum the D, strum the D, strum the D, and it was like, oh, I just wanted to play something, and it was killing my fingers. It was all of these things, and I gave up on it. And I haven't really done anything with it since then. And I wanted to play. And even as a young child, my mom had us playing the piano or having piano lessons. And I was one of those kids. I wanted to be outside playing with my friends. I could hear them out in the yards yelling and having fun and laughing. And I am practicing the piano. And all I could think about was I wanted to be out there. And so impatient as I was, I gave up on that too. And so, I was really quick to give up on something just because it didn't move fast enough. And one of the things that I love about getting a little bit older is that now I can have that patience. I can, if I decided that I wanted to take that up again. If I wanted to learn the guitar, or if I wanted to play the piano, or what, at first I'd have to get a piano, right? But the thing is that now I understand how important that process of getting there is. And it's the same with us, with all the things that we have in our life. If we're wanting to have a better business, if we're wanting to have better relationships, you can't go from point A to point Z just like that. There's a process all along where you have to learn each note on the scale. You have to learn where to put your fingers. You have to learn how to strum it. You have to learn how to hold it. You have to learn how to take care of those calluses. There are so many little things that you learn in the process that make you so much more efficient and expand on your talents more, right? Because to me now, as I'm older, if you just learn a song, then you can play that song, and you can play that song, and you can play that song. And it's kind of like being in a box. You know your little thing, you know your little show, your little square, but it's not as easy to branch out because you didn't learn the fundamentals. Did I say that correctly? So to me, it's a really important now with everything that I do, that I learn the fundamentals, the why I'm doing something that I'm doing, and how these things fit together to make it work. Because it's like making a cake. If you learn to bake a cake, but every now and then you think, oh hell, I don't really need to do the D note, right? I don't need to strum the D. I'm just going to bypass that baking powder in the recipe. And then it falls flat, right? Because we need all the little bits and pieces of all the things that come together. And that's where in our lives, the creativity that's in us, if we're not letting that out in some manner, then we're kind of putting ourselves in this box where life just is. Now, wouldn't it be amazing? Now, I want an answer to this. Wouldn't it be amazing if every day that you woke up, you could feel this creative vibration coming all around you, and you would say, oh my gosh, what am I creating today? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're painting, you're singing, you're playing the guitar, but creating is so much more than that once you get the hang of it, right? And so it is some juicy stuff to think about your creative self. Yes, Wendy, right. And so, I mean, that is what I want for me. And that is what I want for you. And I will say, most of the time I wake up like that, but there are every now and then that I wake up and that's not my first thoughts. Like I said before, not perfect by any means. I have my little things that go on just like everybody else. But I've been doing this work long enough that I catch myself so much faster. Used to, I'd go down a rabbit hole and I'd be there a while. I'd be hanging out and having tea. I'd be doing all those things, right? But now I can be falling down into the rabbit hole and I say, wait a minute, and I'll come right back out. And so as we progress in our learning, our creative spirit, all of the things about us that make us magic, then life can be so beautiful, right? Yes, yes. So let's get to the journal prompt. Well, now are you going to be creating this magic and this creativity and let it flow for you? I believe for you. I believe it is. All right, so let's get to the journal prompt. I'm looking at the time. Let's see. All right, let me gather and let's see what we got on over here. All right, so the journal prompt is: reflect on a time when you felt most creative, and how can you bring more of that energy into your daily life? And, not only how can you bring more of that energy, it's like, how can you expand that energy? Because remember, you're not who you were back when that thing happened. Like if you're reflecting on your most creative time and it was 6 months ago, yes, the quick recognition and the ability to turn around. Yes, yes. And so when you are reflecting on when you were creative, when you were your most creative, like I said, you're not that same person today because we're constantly growing and changing and becoming, right? And so when you figure out when that time is, expand it. So like remember you do your hands together. So anybody that's here watching, and you can just rub your hands together so hard, rub them as hard as you can. Just keep rubbing. Now I'm in my imagination. You're all doing this, so I hope you are. And then we're going to pull your hands apart, and you can just feel that vibration, that energy that you've created, right? And so you've just created this amazing energy with just your hands, right? And that energy is part of you. And that energy will expand you if you let it. So just bring that energy in and recognize that you are not the same person that you were a minute ago. You're not the same person that you were 5 minutes ago, or a year ago, 6 years ago. Whatever it was when you felt the most creative, you are now much more expanded and vibrationally in tune than then. And so when you've got this vibration all about you, and you feel into it and just know you are even more magnificent now than you were then. And just expand that creativity that you are looking at. And then the second part of this, how can you bring more of that energy into your daily life? And so, I make jewelry. That's my creativity. Ooh, I want to see some of the samples of your jewelry. Yeah. Um, so the thing is that as you expand yourself, thank you for me is going back to the creator and ask what he has for me to create in this day. Oh, that is beautiful. Yes. One of the things that I do before I get on any of these lives or with a client or anything like that is I ask God to give me the wisdom to show up and expand on whatever he wants me to talk about. And so sometimes, and this happens a lot, Sandra, sometimes I will have already scheduled whatever the affirmation in the journal prompt is for the morning, because I know I do this every morning. And then, but when I do this, little short prayer, this conversation with God, then when I get out of the conversation, something totally different pops in my mind that I need to share. And so I'm very in tune to listening to that. I wasn't always, that's for damn sure. And I'm not always perfect at it now. And sometimes I'll think, but I really want to do that one. That's the one I thought was going to be so fun. But then I'll release and say, okay, we'll do it this way. And then it always works out great because whatever it is that I end up talking about is what somebody needs. And so it always ends up being the perfect thing for at least one person. Right? You make them as gifts and crew on the ships. Ooh, beautiful. Yeah, you need to take some pictures. If you have some pictures of some of your jewelry, I'd love to see it. My daughter makes jewelry and stuff every now and then too, and it is just so fun to see her do that. It's not my thing. Like my daughter is so creative, it's amazing. She does she can the things that she can just do just out of the blue. Like she decided that she wanted to make a dress and she had never made one before. And she made this amazing dress. It was like gorgeous. And it was like, what the heck? And she just decided one day she wanted a sewing machine and that's what she did. She even started making her own patterns and doing all that. And then she decided she wanted to do crocheting, and she can crochet almost anything. I mean, one day she was sitting and crocheting. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm crocheting a vest so I can wear it tomorrow." What? And she paints. And so she is one of the people that just amaze me all the time with when she decides that she wants to learn or try something new, she just excels at it. And when she decided she wanted to make jewelry, it was like she sat down one day and she was making neck bracelets and necklaces and all kinds, and earrings, and these little chain things for your glasses. I mean, it's amazes me. Now I have to work on a necklace. Ooh, okay. So bracelets, earrings and bracelets. Beautiful. Yeah, so definitely share some pictures in the group and let us know. All right. So let me get back to the affirmation. And remember, with affirmation, you put it on your sticky notes, your index cards, your screensaver on your phone, anywhere that you can put it, that it's a reminder to say this to yourself today. Not only say it, but believe it and feel it, right? Because we can say things all the time and it doesn't matter. When we put our emotions, the feelings, and we really give it some power, that's when it's powerful, right? Because when you do these things together, your subconscious mind says, yes, that must be true. That must be true. So that's what we're going for, right? So I embrace my creativity and let it flow freely. That's the thing too. Just let it flow. Just be open to whatever it may be. Maybe it's something you've never thought of. Like with my daughter, she's like, one day she'll be sitting there and she'll say, I think I'm going to try this. And, oh, okay. It just comes. And so it's amazing. And if you're one of those people that seems to just pick things up and go, beautiful. Just be open to maybe it's something that you haven't thought about before. And, as I'm saying that, oh, my 103-year young aunt knits. Oh, yes, beautiful. Oh, now what was I going to say? Hold on. I lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me at some point. What the heck was it? Oh, I know what it was. I knew it'd come back. When I was young, I loved writing poetry. And I've shared this story before. We had a creek that went through our backyard. And there was this tree that had fallen across the creek. And I loved just taking my notebook, and I just had a little spiral bound notebook and my pen, and I'd go sit on this log, and it was low enough that I could dangle my feet in the water. And it felt like I was in the middle of nowhere. And I would just write my poetry. And I wish today that I still had that. And I will say I had it for a very long time. And one of the places that I had some things stored, there was a water issue and it got destroyed. But, obviously I didn't need to keep it or it wouldn't have happened, right? And so I even have a notebook now that I don't do it often, but I still write a little bit of poetry every now and then. And so this is kind of my reminder that, I enjoy doing that and I enjoy writing. And so today I have a little bit of extra time that I'm going to either write some poetry or I'm going to start expanding on my book that I'm writing. And so, this is awakening in me some different things that I can do for my creativity. And because creativity opens up so many doors and avenues for your life. And it's not that you become famous for your creativity. Hell, you could, right? But it's that feeds you and lets you get into a place where you're more open to other things too. So by getting into your creativity, you actually open yourself up to change. You open yourself up to becoming the best you there is possible. And that's why Laura and I partnered up because, a transformational coach and a hypnotist, and I'm helping people to stand up and step step up and stand out, to be able to speak, and to, like, you can tell, right? I'm teaching people how to speak. Oh God, that is too funny. But the thing is that it's more that I help people to get out of that anxious state before they speak, and to not feel like they're having to have a script written down, and they have to follow this, and we have to do things exactly the way somebody else says this is how you're supposed to do this. Now, whether that's speaking on stage, or speaking to someone in a crowd, or when you're standing in line, or even at the school when you talk to your teachers, or even having a conversation that's uncomfortable with someone you love, right? It's being able to speak. And that's one of the things that I help people with. But the thing is that there's blocks and stuff that I can help people get through, right? But when you can put that creative stuff in there, it diminishes those blocks so much easier with all the other processes. So dive into getting into your creative place today, and being open to whatever the heck it's going to bring up for you, and just explore it. No judgment, no nothing, right? And then let's get to the journal prompt. And so, as our journal prompt is, reflect on a time when you felt most creative. So just write down. Now get into a little bit of a silent space, and quiet your mind a little bit so that you can think, and you're not just inundated with tasks for your day. And then just brain dump whatever comes up, because depending on what your age is and how creative you are, there may be a bunch of them that you have, and maybe there's not. It doesn't matter, but don't judge. And even if something comes up that it pops in your mind, you say, is that really creative? Write it down anyway, because there's something about that is going to expand something else. And so when you're writing these journal prompts out, you are answering these journal prompts, don't judge it at all. Just put down whatever the heck comes up. Just write it down, write it down, write it down, and keep writing until you feel like you've exhausted all your ideas. And then you say, how can I bring more of that energy into my daily life? And so look at the things that you felt were creative, and then just kind of imagine, how did I feel when that happened? How did I feel during that creative place? And then, like I said, you're not the same person you were then, even if it was something you did 5 minutes ago. You're different now. You have a different vibration. You have expanded who you are, right? You've expanded your God presence. And by doing that, now you have to expand on what that feeling was. So whatever that feeling was when you were creative and you're tapping into it, then just think, oh, that felt this way. How can I make it better? How can I make it better? And then write that down, right? Good morning, Kimmy. Good morning. So, like I tell every single day, so I know it's like something that you're probably thinking, oh, why does she say this every time? But it's important. Make sure that you've got your notebook or your journal. You put the date up there, and then you put the affirmation in the journal prompt, and then you answer everything there. And the reason that is so important is that as you expand and you grow and you can come back and you can look at this and you can really see the amazing difference in your growth and your expansion from this day, right? And the only way you know that is by having it in writing right here. Because, like I say all the time, as you make this change, like I said, you're not the same as you were 5 minutes ago. You're not the same as you were 1 second ago. You're different. And you're not the same tomorrow. It'll be your new normal. And the next day, it'll be your new normal. And we completely forget and lose track of the things that we thought, the things that we felt just a day or two ago, much less going 3 months, 6 months, a year, right? And so give yourself the gift of actually writing this stuff down. And you don't have to share it with anybody. You don't even have to look at it again until you get the intuitive hit to do so. And then you look and you see your expansion and your growth. And then you say, thank you, God, for the gift of all of this, right? Because it's all a gift. And you are a gift. I love each and every one of you, and I am so looking forward to seeing you guys at the masterclass, and between now and then, seeing you every single day, right? Because I'm here every single day, and so Tuesday through Saturday, it's 9 a.m. Eastern. And I'm saying this for the people that may not be used to our schedule, because we've got some people watching on Instagram. And so I'm here every day, Tuesday through Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, unless something comes up, and then I usually notify you. And then on Sunday, it's 10 a.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, it is 2 p.m. Eastern. And so, you too, Kimmy, have a sweet weekend. And so I would love for you to join me every single time, or at least whatever comes to you that this is the day I need to be there. I would love for you to be there. And good morning, Ellen. I'm so happy that you're doing this and encourage us women to grow. Oh, well, thank you, Ellen. Thank you. I need to pull it up here. I do that all the time. I don't know why I can't spend all my time looking down. Oh, I've got to get better at this. The reason I will share, the reason I don't keep the Facebook open on my actual computer screen is because there's a delay from what I say and what shows up. And so I will sometimes get confused with the screen showing something. It's almost like watching a movie where the mouth moving and everything doesn't translate right. It feels that way, right? So anyway, so thank you guys for being here, and those that put that they wanted the link to the masterclass, I will definitely be getting that to you in just a bit. I have a business meeting at 10, and then I have some clients, so I will get it there as soon as possible. So, and then you can sign up, and once you sign up, then I will be sending you an email with all the links and everything that you need to be there. All right. And just a real quick reminder too, that next week we also have the guest expert in the group, and it'll be Luis, and he's going to be talking about his money program that he has. So I'm linked to the masterclass. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So there's so much going on, so much wonderful things, and I'm so glad to have you on this journey with me, because you're the only reason that I do this. And so you have a blessed, creative day, and just breathe into it and enjoy. Mwah.